I no longer know what day it is. In the Taiga, time doesn't move forward. It freezes, just like the blood in your veins when you stop believing you're alive. We were dropped here on a colorless morning. No farewell, no sound of humanity, only the fading roar of a helicopter slicing through gray air, then vanishing beyond the clouds. When the echo died, the world fell into a silence so complete it felt physical. There were 4 of us, me, Brenda, Caleb, and Diana. 4 souls in a white infinity. No one spoke, no one needed to. The silence pressed against our eardrums until our thoughts began to sound too loud. Brenda finally whispered, "No birds, no wind. It kills the sound." She was right. The Taiga has no pulse, or perhaps it beats too slowly for us to hear. We started walking, not toward anything, just away from the emptiness behind us. The map and compass were meaningless here. The magnetic field of this forest bent every rule of orientation. The sun was low, leaking through the mist like a dying candle. I looked at my hands, red, trembling, no longer mine. Diana crouched, touching moss trapped under the ice. "This cold isn't air," she murmured. "It's a needle." She was right again. The cold here doesn't just touch you. It enters you, settles in your chest, and refuses to leave. At 0 degrees, you don't fight the weather. You negotiate with it. A quiet bargain. Give me one more breath, and I won't ask for warmth. We stopped when our shadows stretched long and thin between the trees. Caleb checked his watch. 2 hours of light left, he said. In the Taiga, sunset isn't a beautiful sight. It's a warning. After sunset, everything stops breathing. We built a shelter out of pine branches, our hands numb, our faces burning from the wind. Snow drifted down like ash. Every flake whispered the same message. Everything is closing in. That first night, there was no fire, no speech, no comfort. I could hear my heartbeat inside my own skull. Brenda whispered, "We'll freeze." I didn't answer. Some truths grow sharper when they're spoken aloud. By morning, Caleb was kneeling in the snow, scratching at the surface with shaking hands. "Look," he said. Tiny red dots glowed under the frost. "Lingonberries." He smiled. "Not much, but it's a sign." A sign of what? I didn't know. Maybe of life. Maybe of the Taiga mocking us. "Still breathing, are you?" I ate one. Sour, metallic, painfully cold. But in that sting, I felt something real, like the pulse of the world returning for just a second. At noon, we sat under a massive spruce, our breaths curling into white ghosts. No one spoke. Words are useless when silence has weight. Only the rhythm of our lungs mattered. And when you begin to hear your own heartbeat inside absolute quiet, that's when you finally understand how fragile life truly is. By the second day, our strength was draining faster than our heat. No animals, no tracks, no running water, just snow and trees, and the growing awareness that we were shrinking inside this endlessness. Diana said she heard a river. We followed her. There was nothing, only fog, whispering our names back at us. When hunger deepens, the mind starts inventing sounds. Hope becomes hallucination, and hallucination becomes faith. By the 3rd day, we couldn't tell day from night. I wrote in a damp notebook. We speak less, not because we want to, but because breath costs too much. Here, breathing is the only language left. That afternoon, Diana collapsed. I caught her before her head hit the snow. Her eyes closed, her lips a pale blue. "Don't sleep," I yelled. She smiled faintly, the kind of smile that belongs to someone who is already seeing something far beyond this world. The sunset poured blood-red light over her face, cruel and beautiful. I didn't know if I was afraid or in awe. That night a sound woke me, a crack, then a flicker, fire, our first flame in 3 days. Caleb sat motionless, the glow painting deep lines on his face. "How did you light it?" I asked. He whispered. I waited for the wind to stop. When the Taiga falls silent, I can hear the breath of fire. We huddled close, no words, just listening to the snap and pop of burning wood. It wasn't much, but it was proof that sound still existed, a reminder that the world could still move, even if slowly. That night I didn't sleep. I watched the fire until it died. When the ashes rose into the wind, I made a promise to myself. If I survive this, I will never fear silence again. Day 4. We kept moving. Hunger had stopped hurting. It had become a fog that dulled everything. Our bodies no longer begged, they simply waited. The taiga wasn't our enemy. It was a mirror. Here, without noise, comfort, or distraction, the forest stripped us down to the raw truth of being human. No masks, no roles, just the question, who are you when everything else is gone? Caleb paused beside an ancient pine. When you stay quiet long enough, he said, the taiga starts to speak. What does it say? I asked. He smiled weakly. That life is never a right. It's a privilege. I carried that line inside me. He was right. We weren't surviving. We were being tolerated. Day 5 dawned clear. For the first time the sky opened, a deep, merciless blue. Sunlight pierced through the branches, scattering diamonds on the snow. I stepped into it, lifting my hands. It was still cold, but it felt honest. Brenda walked beside me, her breath slow. Maybe if we stop fighting it, she said, it'll let us stay. I shook my head. The taiga doesn't let anyone stay, it just spares us for a while. We sat together for hours, saying nothing. The silence was no longer an enemy. It was part of us. And then I understood. Humans always talk about conquering nature. But maybe we were never meant to conquer it. Maybe we were meant to remember it, to feel small again, to see clearly what we've built walls against. The taiga didn't teach me how to survive. It taught me how to be alive. I closed my eyes. No sound, no fear. Only the faint, steady rhythm of a heart that refused to quit. The forest wasn't silent after all. It just spoke in a language too ancient for us to hear. And when I finally listened, I heard myself, a whisper inside the cold, you are still here. If you're hearing this, remember, survival isn't about fighting the wild. It's about accepting your place within it. Sometimes you don't have to win to survive. You just have to stay. I am the voice from the taiga, and this is only the beginning. Subscribe to the American Mission, share this story, and turn on notifications, because when night falls again and the forest calls my name, part 2 will begin. Thank you for listening. Stay safe.